Hello, Westford. Ferocious winds on Monday brought down trees and led to street closings. Selectmen reviewed the 24 articles on the annual town meeting warrant, and we bring you another featured club at Westford Academy in our After the Bell segment. I'm Christina Liedberg, Assistant Director at the J.V. Fletcher Library, and WestfordCAT News is next. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to sign up for the email alerts, delivering all of our latest Westford news to your inbox. Just visit westfordcatnews.org and click on the red subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. And if you feel passionate about a local issue you'd like to see featured in the news, email News Director Joyce Polino Crane at jcrane@westfordcat.org. We'll work with you to document the issue, and then we'll collaborate in telling your story. Gusting winds as high as 61 miles per hour took down trees all over Westford on Monday, February 25th, forcing police to close several streets and cancel governmental meetings for the evening. Even Town Hall was affected. It ran on a generator for 2 days, according to Town Manager Jody Ross, while the library closed early on February 25th and remained closed the next day. WBZ meteorologist and executive weather producer Terry Eliason reported on his blog that the winds peaked in the late afternoon. Tens of thousands in this region lost electrical power, including thousands of Westford households. By midday on Tuesday, February 26th, 157 households were still without power, affecting 1,586 customers, according to National Grid. The Cameron Senior Center became a warming shelter, and culinary students from the Neshoba Valley Technical High School served lunch. The next day, Depot Street from Beaver Dam Drive to Main Street was still closed, along with Main Street from Providence to Boston Roads, according to Westford Police. We reached out to National Grid for an update, but did not immediately hear back. The gusts were expected to usher in a 10-day stretch of colder than average temperatures. Selectmen voted unanimously on February 26 to recommend the funding choices of the Community Preservation Committee. Among them is $100,000 for renovations at the Parish Center for the Arts, $131,000 for a second phase of upgrades to the Westford Academy Trustees Field, and $41,000 to resurface 3 basketball courts. Here is member Marilyn Frank presenting the committee's recommendations to Selectmen.
$60,000 from the undesignated fund balance for the installation of 2 irrigation wells at Hill Orchard and other related costs. Obviously, the wells that we put in at the community gardens were very successful, and Dave needs them up at the orchard, and we see no problem with that. We're also asking for $130,000, $868,000 from the undesignated fund balance for engineering and architectural design services for the Westford Trustee Field Phase 2 and any other related costs. Money that they've been able to get from mitigation has reduced the original amount.
A 3% property tax surcharge and state money funds the community preservation projects. Annual town meeting voters will be asked to approve the spending. The meeting opens on March 23rd at the Abbott School. Watch the entire Selectmen's meeting at westfordcat.org. And now for our annual town meeting preview. As March 23rd approaches, opponents and proponents of a proposed restaurant are preparing for a tussle. The 9-acre gateway parcel at 66 to 68 Boston Road holds 3 agricultural preservation restrictions of 3 acres each. In 1997 and 1999, the town paid owners more than $500,000 for the development rights, the right of first refusal, and the guarantee of perpetual preservation as agricultural land. Voters will be asked to make 2 decisions about the parcel known as Drew Gardens. The first, filed by residents Tom Barry and Bill Nussbaum, asked voters to amend one of the agricultural preservation restrictions. This would allow developer Abraham Masaladin to build a 14,000 square foot restaurant there and grow produce on the remaining 6 acres. The second petition, filed by resident Bill Taffel, is designed to prevent town officials from undervaluing the land. Taffel wants officials to assess value to the parcel's development rights. Here he is talking to News Director Joyce Polino Crane.
So the question is, what's the value of the interest in the land that Westford would sacrifice if it were to agree to that proposal? The property's value in 2016, when it was purchased by the current owner, at agricultural value was $650,000 for the 9-acre parcel. With the restrictions relaxed and with an option to build a restaurant on the site, it would be worth much more, probably in the millions. The value of the town's interest in the land is the difference between the market value of a restaurant site, which it would become, and a piece of agricultural land, which is what it is now. And there are several ways to estimate that value. Since we've never had a professional appraisal done, we don't really know the true value. But we do know that it's a lot. It would be in the millions. If you look at comparable properties, commercial properties anywhere nearby, primarily on Route 110, which is where it's supposed to be.
We invited Tom Barry to join us in the studio, but he declined. Here he is addressing selectmen on February 26th.
So Article 19 is to authorize the Board of Selectmen to amend the agricultural preservation restriction at 6668 Boston Road to allow the construction of a restaurant. I want to stress, because we may talk about it a little bit later, the word amend. We're just trying to amend the APR. The APR stays on the property. So this is just asking town meeting to allow the Board of, or authorize the Board of Selectmen to amend the APR. This restaurant now has been substantially downsized to 13,696 gross square feet with the elimination of the previously proposed function center. You probably all remember the function center off to the side.
Find the entire story at westfordcatnews.org. This week, we take a closer look at Westford Academy's 3D Design Club and our After the Bell series, highlighting clubs and activities at the high school. Here's WA senior Morgan Frood with club leader James Weaver.
I'm here with student leader of the 3D Club, James Weaver. James, could you tell us a little about some of the projects you're working on right now?
Sure. So we have a lot of 3D printers here, and we try to take on anything we can come up with. Usual process is we'll try to brainstorm ideas and then later work on them. Right now, a teacher asked us for a holder for one of the projector remotes that all the teachers have, because a lot of them lose them pretty frequently. So right now we're developing that. Some of the ones we had in the past. Last year we noticed that not all of the signs had Braille on them, only the ones that had definite room numbers, not ranges. And because 3D printing can be really customizable and really cheap, we decided to do those. We also worked a little bit with a Enable group at UMass Lowell to 3D print prosthetic hands for growing children so that they didn't have to replace their prosthetics, which can be fairly expensive as they're still growing.
Obviously, you guys are very engineer-minded, but what type of student do you say would enjoy the club the most?
Anyone with an interest in 3D printing, because having an engineering mindset is obviously helpful, but having other people that can brainstorm ideas to work on is also really important. So anyone who's creative or engineering or anything basically.
I didn't even know we had a 3D printer at the school. Have we always had it, or what was the process to getting it?
Yeah, as of about 2 years ago, an old physics teacher named Mr. Benningston got some funding and bought this one here. And that one over there. A couple of guys who graduated last year, who were the president and vice president before, also did an internship over the summer where they didn't actually get paid, but they got that as part of it. And we also did a Chipotle fundraiser last year where we raised enough money to buy another one.
And this is some of the product that the 3D Club has made. Thanks for watching.
To see more WA featured clubs, visit WestfordCAT's YouTube page and search for After the Bell. The Elite International Soccer Tournament took place at the Millworks in Westford. Here's WestfordCAT intern and UMass Lowell senior, Carter Hochman, with a recap.
This past President's Day weekend, the Elite Invitational Soccer Tournament took place at the Millworks in Westford. The tournament featured 9 U13 teams from across the Northeast, including the New England Revolution and Boston Bolts. Most noticeably, however, was the Manchester United's U13 club. The youth club from the world's second wealthiest sports organization, according to Forbes, flew in from England to participate in this year's tournament. The weekend was full of exciting goals, saves, and lots of cheers from the attending parents and fans. For WestfordCAT, I'm Carter Hoffman.
Here's Superintendent Bill Olson with news about the schools.
Hi, this is Superintendent of Schools Bill Olson with a school system update. I want to thank our staff, our students, and parents for your patience recently with the extraordinary weather that we had with high winds that created power outages in 5 of our schools in the system. Several of them had power problems for more than one day, but the staff was extraordinarily professional. Students and all of you as parents were extremely cooperative and helpful, and I greatly appreciate it. It was one of the most unusual weather events that I've witnessed in many, many years in school administration. Since we are entering March shortly, the MCAS testing will begin at the end of March this year, and this year, for the first time, all students will be tested online, and there will be no more paper and pencil testing in the MCAS. Later this school year and throughout the summer, we will have a centralized enrollment process whereby people who are moving into Westford to occupy the new residences that are being built, there are over 700 residential units. Not all will be occupied for the 2019-2020 school year, but it will begin. The enrollment process at the Millennium will help us to keep a more accurate idea of how many students are moving into the system and where they're located, in which school district they're located in, so that we can plan appropriately during the summer. We can stay in touch with the school committee, with the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee, because I'm anticipating with the influx of students, we will perhaps need some additional teaching staff, whether it's general education or special education, and we may need some additional school buses to transport children. Our redistricting committee continues to work on the elementary redistricting and middle school redistricting. Now please keep in mind once again that the redistricting will not take place until the 2020-2021 school year. So it's not next year, it's 2 years from now. Bill Olson, look forward to seeing you next time.
Jada, an active and playful 11-year-old cat, is available now for adoption at the Lowell Humane Society. Here's WestfordCAT's production coordinator, Patty Stalker, with more.
There are so many lovable pets available now for adoption at the Lowell Humane Society. Here's Shelter Marketing and Fundraising Manager Crystal Arnott to introduce you to Jada.
So this is Jada. Jada is an 11-year-old domestic shorthair, and she has been here at the shelter since November. She is a very sweet and affectionate cat. She can be a little feisty at times, but I think most cats get a little bit of catitude every now and then. She'll do best in an adult household, or maybe teens and older who can read her body language and realize when she's had enough petting. She is very clear to read and understand when she's had enough. If you just give her space, she'll go along her way. She's 11 years old and has a history of living with another cat successfully in her prior home. And she could potentially go home with a very mellow dog that would give her space. It would have to be a cat-savvy dog that wouldn't be up and in her face. But I think that she could slowly get adjusted to other pets in the house. For 11 years old, she's a little peanut petite girl. She's very active and playful. She's very curious, and she is very sweet and loves to sit next to you and be pet.
If you think you'd like to provide Jada with her forever home, or if you'd like more information on donating to or volunteering at the Lowell Humane Society, visit them Tuesday through Sunday at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell, or go to lowellhumanesociety.org. Call 978-452-7781. You can also find them on Facebook. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stalker.
Let's see what weather.com is forecasting as we head into the weekend. Here's WestfordCAT board member Betsy Alvarez with suggestions for things to do in the area.
Thanks, Christina. The J.B. Fletcher Library hosts an adult nonfiction book club which meets next on Tuesday, March 5th at 7 p.m. Readers can pick up a copy of My Life in France by Julia Child with Alex Prudhomme at the main desk. Registration is not necessary. Visit westfordlibrary.org for more information. The time has finally come for the grand reopening of the Rotten Bush Community Center on Saturday, March 9 from 2 to 9 p.m. There will be guided tours of the newly restored historic building, along with a scavenger hunt, a vendor fair, a silent auction, a marching band, and a magic show. In the early evening, adults are invited to a wine tasting reception with a jazz quartet. Child care is available. Visit rottenbush.org for more information. Admission is free of charge. Chick Singer Night Boston takes place this year in Westford at the Parish Center for the Arts on Saturday, March 9. Doors open at 7 p.m. with opening music by David Stackhouse and Paul Pampinella. Admission is $15 per person. For more information, visit chicksingernight.com/chapter/Boston. I am Betsy Alvarez, a WestfordCAT board member. Back to you, Christina.
That's it for this week, Westford. Here's a quick peek at some of the folks who have visited the station recently, either recording or editing their programs for you all to enjoy. See you next time.
I'd like to address the substance of the amendment itself. There are people and organizations such as the ACLU, I might say, who are in favor of the Citizens United decision, who believe that money should be a form of speech and that any constraint on money in politics is a violation of the First Amendment and would constrain people's ability to express their opinions. The problem we have is when you open it wide open like that, most people who can't afford to pay to play don't have a voice at all.
Hi, and welcome to Bridges to Community. My name is Sarah Turcott, and I work at Bridges by Epic at Westford.
And I'm Erica Lab, Executive Director of Bridges by Epic at Westford. We have a very special guest today with us. Welcome Sarah Fletcher, Marketing Outreach Manager here at Westford Community TV. Sarah is also the current president of the Westford Business Association and a lifelong Westford resident. So we have lots to talk about today with you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me on your 7th edition.
Yes.
This is great.
Yes, we're excited.
Congratulations.
I have here a beautiful flyer that says, "Help WestfordCAT reach our fundraising goal today."
Now, CAT is community access television.
Okay. Now, you go the second line.
I go to the second?
Yeah.
All right. Because
okay. Want to learn more and get involved with your local TV? Become a member.
Welcome back to Complete Connected Care. I'm here with Jeff Stevens, Health Director of the town of Westford. Jeff, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So we're here to talk a little bit today. You do a lot of things in town, I know. Today we're going to talk a little bit about your story and your personal experience with a health scare. And February is Heart Month. We at Circle Health and here in town, they do a lot of preventive work because heart disease is preventable.
Hi, this is Joyce Polino-Crane. I'm the news director at WestfordCAT. I'm here today with Gloria Trahan. She is our U.S. Congresswoman from the 3rd Congressional District. Yes, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So nice to have you.
It's nice to be back.
So you've been in office since, what was it,
January 3rd.
Yeah, and you've lived a whole new life ever since, haven't you?
Yes, it's been a whirlwind, quite a baptism. There's nothing quite like taking your oath of office in the middle of a government shutdown.
Hello everybody! Every day is a good day for a new beginning. Welcome to New Beginnings and thank you for watching us. I am your host, Betsy Carolina. Have you ever felt like you no longer have a reason to continue? Or feel defeated and find it hard to fight for your dreams? I think we all do at some point or other in our lives.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Lynch, and I am the new host of Second Opinion. I will be interviewing our guest here, Jim Lyons, who is the recent state committee man for the Republican Party. Did I say it right? The new state chair for the Republican Party.
Yes.
And some people like to say it as the Mass GOP chair. So I will be now the new host, and I am the chair of the Westford Republican Town Committee, which is sponsoring this show.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Major with ThinStrongHealthy.com, and I want to welcome you to this edition of Thin, Strong, Healthy. Today, our objective is to understand what sugar does to you and how to begin to formulate some strategies to reduce or eliminate added sugar from your diet. First, let's talk about why we crave sugar. As a result of the recent obesity epidemic in the United States, scientists have turned their attention in the past few years to the question of why we crave sugar.
Hi, my name is Ray Peachy. I'm the Substance Abuse Prevention Coordinator for the town of Westford, working with the Health Department. And this is Westford Health Beat. I'm here with Seth LaJoy, who is the Environmental Services Manager for the Health Department. And we're going to talk to Seth a little bit about the environmental services and what he does within the town. So Seth, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Our programming is supported by members, sponsors, and viewers like you. Please consider a donation to Westford Community Access Television. Visit paypal.com/us/fundraiser/charity/1659975. And thank you.